Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into something I think we all feel at some point, that sense of digital burnout. We're going to break down exactly why our devices can leave us feeling so drained and, more importantly, explore a philosophy for taking back control.
All right, let's kick things off with this big paradox that's kind of at the heart of everything we do online these days.
So, does this sound familiar? You grab your phone thinking, hey, just a quick 5-minute break. But then you look up and you don't feel rested. You feel drained, right? Maybe a little bit anxious, even annoyed. And if you tried to remember what you just saw while scrolling, good luck. If that's you, trust me, you are not alone.
And that right there, that's the big paradox. We've never been more connected, technically, but so many of us are reporting feeling more stressed out, more distracted, and just emotionally tired. It's this sense of being overloaded that's really pushing people, especially adults over 30, to step back and ask, wait a minute, what is my relationship with technology really like?
So, what is going on inside our heads when we get sucked into these apps? Let's dig into the science, the psychology behind all of this.
Okay, so check this out. It's this idea called attention residue. Think about it. Your brain only has so much bandwidth for real deep focus. So every time you jump from, say, an email to a quick text message and then back to that email, a little piece of your brain is still thinking about the text. It's like mental clutter that just builds and builds, making it almost impossible to concentrate deeply on any one thing. And then there's this, the other side of the coin. It's a term straight out of behavioral psychology. And honestly, it's pretty much the secret ingredient that makes these apps so sticky.
And this is the thing you gotta understand. This isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's completely by design. See, apps are basically built like slot machines. You never know when you're gonna get that little reward, a like, a comment, whatever. So you keep pulling the lever, refreshing your feed, chasing that little dopamine hit. It's a really powerful loop that's super hard to break.
But it's not just about the notifications pinging all the time. There's something else going on, something deeper and more emotional that's draining us while we're just scrolling.
Yeah, this quote from a study back in 2014 really just nails it. We're basically spending our time looking at everyone else's highlight reels. And when you see that all day, every day, well, our brains just can't stop themselves from making comparisons.
And this really shows that disconnect, right? On one side, you've got these perfectly curated online lives, the amazing vacations, the big career wins, the flawless selfies. And on the other side, well, there's our actual messy, real lives with all the daily struggles and just normal stuff. The trap is that we're comparing our behind-the-scenes footage to their highlight reel. It's a game you can't win.
Psychologists actually have a name for this, upward social comparison. And study after study shows it's a massive reason why scrolling can leave us feeling pretty bad about ourselves. That constant feeling of, I'm not doing enough or my life isn't as good, it's a direct line to anxiety and just feeling drained. It's what people are now calling mobile app fatigue.
Okay, so we get the problem. It's a cycle of distraction and comparison and exhaustion. So what do we do about it? How do we break free? Well, the answer isn't just a quick fix, it's more of a whole new philosophy. And that philosophy is called digital minimalism. Now, this is not about throwing your phone in a river and moving to the woods. Not at all. It's about being super intentional with how you use technology. It's about asking a really simple but powerful question for every app on your phone. Is this thing actually supporting something I value in my life? Or is it just using me?
And I want to be really clear about something here. This is not the same as a digital detox, where you quit everything for a weekend and then dive right back in on Monday. That's a temporary fix. Minimalism is a long-term change. It's a whole new way of thinking about technology's role in your life. It's about building a life you don't need to escape from.
Okay, so that's the big idea, the philosophy. But how do we actually do it? Let's get into the practical side of things. How do you start putting this into practice in your own life?
Well, we can actually borrow some pretty powerful tools from psychology. First, you got to work on your mindset. Challenge those irrational thoughts like, I have to reply to this email right now or something terrible will happen. Then you start to reprogram the habits themselves. That whole cue, routine, reward thing. Mindfulness is huge here too. It's about noticing the urge to grab your phone and just pausing for a second before you act. And finally, you just change your environment. Little things like burying your social media apps in a folder can be a total game changer.
And here are some really concrete, practical things you can do, like today. Seriously, turning off all non-essential notifications, that might be the most powerful first step you can take. Or try a 30-day digital declutter. Delete all the optional apps and see what you actually miss.
And this last one is so important. You have to find things to do offline that you love. You can't just create a void. You have to fill that time with something that genuinely makes you happy.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's not about having less technology in your life. It's about having more life in your life. All that time and all that mental energy you get back from mindless scrolling, you can point it toward things that really matter. You know, real conversations, hobbies, creativity, just being present. The stuff that actually makes for a good life. So, I'll leave you with this question. What does a focused life actually look like to you? What do you truly want to give your attention to? Once you have a clear picture of that, it becomes your filter. You can look at every single app, every notification, every digital habit and ask, is this helping me get there or is it pulling me away? And answering that question honestly, well, that's how you start to take your focus back.